Welcome back to Right on the Edge. My name is Derek, and today I am with my sister, and we're going to react to apparently the time where the Russians tried to create an artificial sun to grow stuff in like an Arctic region. I've
Oh,
heard
that's
nothing
cool.
about this, but this is, yeah, exactly. It's cool as shit. And so we are going to start watching it right now. That was totally a not smooth transition at all. I always like fuck up on what to say right there.
This is a giant mirror floating in orbit above the Earth. That might seem
I'm gonna pause already. Is that not the coolest fucking thing you've ever seen in your life? It looks like a fucking UFO.
That does look cool.
too weird to be true, but
And this is like a live footage thing too, so this is like from the time period.
I can assure you that this is
that's
indeed
cool.
very real footage showing one of the most interesting man-made objects to ever be launched into space twice.
They launched it into space twice. Why don't we know any of these cool things? Like I didn't know about that submarine earlier. I had no idea this existed, and I love history. I love weird shit like this.
Oh, history's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's not only the giant mirror that makes this
Oh, you can hear it all right, right?
Yeah, I can hear
story
it okay.
interesting.
Okay.
It's the not-so-secret Russian plan behind the space reflector and what happened after they deployed this contraption. There are actually several potential use cases for a giant reflector in outer space, and this is not a new concept by any means. These go way back.
I can't believe they use mirrors and reflections to start ships and shit on fire
Mhm.
way back in the day. And that this is more shit I just never knew. Look how old that painting is. There's cracks in it.
Yeah.
There
That'd
is
be
a
really
legend that the
interesting
ancient
to just go into war with somebody and just like blow, like literally light their ship on fire from a distance.
Yeah, I wonder if they're like if they got the gunpowder or something.
Greek scientist Archimedes
Well, actually, they did their decks in tar and stuff to seal it, and that's flammable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I mean, I could be wrong.
designed great burning mirrors that set fire to the Roman fleet as they lay siege to his home city of
This is Roman times, all right. This is like way older than.
Oh.
Holy shit. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna keep playing the video. I know I'm reacting a lot, but I keep learning new things. I've learned 5 new things in this video already.
Syracuse, Italy. Archimedes died in that battle, so the legend is probably not true, but it does sound like a pretty
I'm sorry. That's the laziest, best editing I've ever seen. He's literally just tipped the thing over.
badass way to go down. In 1929, a German physicist named Hermann Oberth developed plans for an orbital space station that is equipped with a concave mirror measuring 100 meters across that could be used to reflect sunlight onto a concentrated point on the Earth. We know where this is going. During World War II, that orbital mirror idea gets picked up by Nazi scientists and developed into a conceptual superweapon, the sun gun. The updated plan
Really? The Nazis wanted to attack us with a sun gun.
They want to burn us alive.
Bro, they want to treat us like ants. That's crazy. I keep... The longer this goes on, the crazier you should be the drunk one, being like, wow. But here I am, sounding like I'm the drunk one, being like, well, holy shit.
Yeah, I'm just like chilling.
Yeah.
would be to deploy a giant space station 8,200 kilometers above the surface of the Earth. It would wield a huge reflector made from metallic sodium that would cover a surface area 9 square kilometers.
9 fucking kilometers. Holy shit. How the
Holy
fuck were they
cow.
gonna launch that into space?
With
The
hopes
sun
and
gun would
dreams,
produce
I'm
enough
assuming?
focused
Yeah.
heat to incinerate an entire city or boil away the water in lake.
Dude, that's just insane.
Wow. Come on, Nazis. What did we do to you? Win a war? Stop you from killing the Jews? Come on.
lakes and rivers. Or at least that's what Nazi
Bro, they just look like they're assholes. Look at them.
Right?
Dude, they look like they don't sleep and they're assholes.
scientists claimed they were working on when taken captive by American soldiers near the end of the war. There was an article published in the July 1945 issue of Life magazine that illustrates the whole plan.
Now I need to find a copy of this magazine so I can own it.
Maybe they have some on eBay.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it. This has to be
You should
like put
definitely
on.
react to it.
This has to be put on like a wall. Yeah, no, I should. Yeah, but it's insane. This is crazy.
It's pretty fascinating.
You want me to get
but
you
even
some
the magazine
newspapers
writers of
from
the
Grandpa?
1940s were able to
He's
point out
got
the fact that
newspapers
even
that are older than he is, that are in mint condition.
if the Germans
Maybe, yeah, maybe I'll frame him eventually. That'd be so cool. Hold on, let's keep watching this. This is crazy. Thousands of
I'm
pumpkin
sorry.
plants, bro.
Oh, sorry. We got distracted.
Bro, look at that. Thousands of so their plan on breathing up there was to launch this into space as a space station weapon thing with thousands of pumpkin plants for oxygen.
could
That's
place a
crazy.
gigantic mirror into space thousands of miles from the Earth, it would not create a death ray.
This is
The
the coolest thing
concentrated
I've
heating
ever
effect
heard.
from reflecting sunlight only works at short focal distances, like when you use a magnifying glass to roast an ant. But when you try to do the same thing from space, you just end up projecting a giant circle of light onto the Earth's surface. It wouldn't be hot enough to do any damage. So that's good news.
That's a cool image.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that looks cool.
There's one less thing to worry about. But if you can't turn a space mirror to create a giant death ray, then what do you use it for? This is the father of the modern space mirror, Vladimir Siromyatnikov. A Russian engineer born in 1933, he grew up in a turbulent world under the control of Joseph Stalin, an era of violence, political purges, and the obsessive militarization of the Soviet Union. The only real positive to come from this era was a flourishing community of Soviet scientists and engineers
I guess you could say they were Stalin for something.
Get
No.
out of here.
Come on. That was pretty funny, right? Yeah. This is really interesting though, right? I mean, I could never pronounce that guy's name, but you know, Russians have contributed quite a lot to the space apparently.
were put to task developing the nation's arsenal of nuclear weapons and fleet of space-exploring rockets. Vladimir thrived in the space race. He helped design and develop
Bro, he looks like he's planning something.
It
No, like,
looks
look at
like
his
he's messed
hands,
up
dude.
really big.
Yeah, dude, he looks like you don't know, but my time's coming. My horse is almost
looks
in,
like-
dude. Yeah.
He looks like he's about to drop the biggest science thing ever.
Vladimir Syro Mayantokov. I pronounced
Why'd
that
you
way
pronounce
fucking
that like it's Japanese?
What? Because I'm trying to read it, bro. Look at that. Wow, Surmiyatnikov.
It's pronounced Johnson.
Yeah, this is Johnson Smith, actually. Vladimir Smith. Good to meet
Vostok,
you.
the world's first crewed space
Because if I try to pronounce your name again, I'm sure I'm going to say some bad word in Russian.
Like
Craft.
sneezing.
Yeah.
which would launch Yuri Gagarin into space in 1961. By the 1970s, he's climbed the ranks to the top of the Soviet space program and is designing advanced spacecraft docking systems, including the Androgynous Peripheral Attach System, which would link the Soviet and American space capsules in the Apollo-Soyuz.
I don't know how androgynous it is, you know? Look, one goes in and one's on the outside. It's pretty.
So what was the point of that? Oh, they're probably gonna explain it here in a second.
Look, it's to make them kiss. You see, like the United States one and this one are, mwah. Right? Yeah.
They
test flight,
tips.
Yeah, just a tip.
the first international cooperative space mission. His updated design of that system would later be used on the Russian space station Mir.
I'm even more confused now. Wait, that's the station, like in the
Yeah,
space
that's the station in space, and this is the connecting thing, I guess.
Oh, Okay.
And so the ship opens up. So right here, right, it opens up. This is like the cargo bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always forget it does that, but it. You
and
know
allow
what,
for
man? This is
docking with
cool.
the American space shuttle. Behind all of his important work for the space program, Vladimir had
Is that in space for real? Is that edited in there? It looks like a kite.
I don't know.
Yeah, me
a
neither.
personal fascination with solar sails. The idea is that a large reflector can be used as a method of spacecraft propulsion.
Yeah, I kind of know a little bit about this. The idea is like that the protons or whatever that make up light hit the cell, and it causes it to slowly build up speed until it's going, approximately the speed of light, hypothetically. But it's just like a slow buildup of speed due to like you're using it like one of those wind kite things that people like float with, like a wind glider thing, except it
Yeah.
uses light stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like I know of it, but I don't know how
Cap-
exactly it works, except for the fact that it's supposed to like catch those proton things and then slowly propel you using solar winds.
That's interesting.
Yeah, no, it's pretty
Did you already do
cool.
a video about that?
Capturing radiation
No, I read that way back in the day when scientists here in the United States were thinking about making solar cells or solar panels. So I read this article about solar panels that use plant matter.
Yeah.
So they like made plant matter, like a petri dish of plant matter, to use them to absorb energy to power space stations and stuff. And in that article was articles about solar cells and how they worked and how they could be used to potentially uh, get us across the solar system.
pressure from
I should
That's
let you
really
respond.
interesting. I've never heard of that before. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah, I read in like the science magazine at the bookstore I worked at when I was a teenager. But
Oh.
I thought it was like the coolest shit ever. It was like Scientific Today or something like that.
sunlight to travel deep into the solar system without having to burn any fuel.
Yeah.
The Soviet leadership wasn't quite as impressed with the idea heading into the 1990s.
Bro, look at that smile, man. This guy's like, sounds like something I can't nuke the Americans with. I mean, look at that smirk, right? You see it?
Let's wash it down with some vodka.
Yeah, he's like, ugh, God, what a terrible idea. You suck. And this dude's like, I don't understand a word that you're saying, but you're saying it very well.
90s, the space race was over and the USSR in the midst of a total collapse. If government money was going to be spent on funding an engineering project, then it would need to demonstrate some kind of an economic advantage. So, Vladimir rebrands his solar sail into a new idea that will revolutionize economic productivity in northern Russia and beyond. The thing about the
I wonder if, in addition to light, right, because it can't like be used to narrow it down enough to like roast our city alive, but I wonder if the atmosphere like plays a role in like dispersing the energy just to make it like possible, like theoretically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go on. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I can't remember. I'm too drunk for this.
Okay. Let's play some more then.
northernmost regions of the world, those places near or above the Arctic Circle, is that they experience a very unusual day and night cycle thanks to the tilt of the Earth's axis. In the peak of the summer months, the sun never really sets, but on the flip side, in the dead of winter, the sun never really rises. That extended period of winter.
Imagine how good the nap would be here. Just think about Megan.
What's that?
Think about how good the nap would be here.
The Napa?
The nap, like your nap,
Oh.
like taking a nap.
Oh, nap.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Imagine how
that'd be
great that would be
amazing.
during the dark months. Like, look how foggy and great this looks. This is prime ass napping weather. You lay up by the fucking fireplace or whatever, bro, and you just nap your ass off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, that'd be great. That'd be
Oh, I would
fantastic.
love. I always pregame my sleep with more sleep. Like literally.
Gotta get ready for I gotta get ready to go to bed. So that obviously means I need a 7 p.m. nap.
Winter darkness makes it pretty near impossible to get much done,
crazy, right
and
there.
it requires a large amount of energy to keep the lights on and the heaters running. Not that there are a whole lot of human beings living at these high northern latitudes, but a significant portion of the Arctic landmass does belong to Russia, and there are many Russians who live and work up there. So Vladimir gets an idea. Instead of using a giant reflector
What
in
a
space
thought.
as a sail, it could be used as a reflector. It could then redirect light from the sun in space down to a town in northern Russia living in extended darkness. Just imagine the increase in economic productivity that these northern regions would experience if a space mirror could be used to simply turn the sun back on. Not only that, it would drastically reduce the cost of electric lighting and fuel for heating. And thinking even bigger, a whole chain of these reflective satellites could be placed into a sun-synchronous orbit so that they all remain in a constant position above Russia, and they could all just beam down sunlight 24/7. It would be daylight all night long. Now,
That's too much for me. That's like turning on the sun a little bit, right? That's okay, but turning on the sun all day? Yeah, I don't think so.
The sun's evil. And there's actually a place in Alaska. I don't know if it's like the whole state or if it's just a town in Alaska, but when it's summertime, I think it's like sunny all day long.
Okay.
Like the whole day, 24 hours.
Yeah, that'd be too much for me. That'd be too much
Now,
for me.
not surprisingly, this perpetual economy machine was a lot more well received than the deep space exploration thing. Vladimir didn't really need the support of the government anymore. Private investors were pouring money into the giant space mirror project that would come to be known as Znamya. It translates to banner in Russian. The first prototype was built as a ground test model. It wasn't sent to space, it was just an exercise to perfect the design for Znamya 2. The plan was to
Wow.
gradually build up the size of their space mirror designs. Znamya 2 would be 20 meters across, followed by version 2.5.
20 meters is like 60 feet. That's huge.
How much is
So yeah, I think a meter is about 3 feet roughly. You know, give or take a little bit. So that the Zanya 2 or whatever was 60 feet across.
Wouldn't 20 meters be like a football field?
No,
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 more. It would be more than that.
no.
I mean, the football field would be more.
Yeah, yeah. Megan, you're drunk. 60 feet isn't
I-
isn't a football field. That's 100 yards.
Oh,
Or
100 yards. My bad.
100 yards, like 300 feet. Yeah, Megan,
Okay.
Megan, I think you might be drunk.
5
I
at
was so
25 meters,
drinking.
then V3 at 70 meters. This would culminate
70 meters. Holy shit, what would that be? That's nearly a football field right there. Bro, they
That'd be
really went up.
crazy.
They went 20, 25, 70. That's
Quite the leap there.
yeah, that was a big jump. They had the last one.
with a permanent Znamya installation reaching 200 meters
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
200 meters. That's like 2 football fields.
in diameter.
That's crazy.
There would be somewhere between 24 and 36 of
I love how American we just did that. Instead of converting it to feet, we just converted it to a field. We should have been
Yeah.
like, and that's approximately 100 fridges lined up.
these giant mirrors
few-
traveling in a northern
few
inclination
giraffes.
orbit. The altitude would be set as low as 1,000 kilometers or as high as 6,000 kilometers.
Wow.
Each reflector could light one area on its own, or multiple could be focused on the same area for greater brightness. It was believed that the full-sized Znamya
I wonder if you could really do this. I wonder how theoretical this is. Or were they partly successful? I'm very curious to know what the results were, or if they just or if the Soviet Union just crashed and then this was never funded again. Because I actually think this has some merit.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong, right? Maybe the science was wrong, but I think it seems cool to me, especially for these frosty areas that don't get like you can't grow anything up there.
Yeah, that would make life living a little bit better for those areas.
Would
Yeah.
produce light 50 times brighter than the full moon and illuminate a surface area between 60 and 90 kilometers across.
16 to 90 kilometers. 1,000. I'm trying to do conversions here, so I know that's 1,000 meters. 6,000. Several miles across. I mean, that's cool. That's so fucking cool.
On October 27th, 1992, the first
This was so recent too. This is why I'm upset I didn't know about this. I'm like, how did I not know about this? You think this would be in like a scholastic school paper or something from when I was in school. You think they would have talked about this, but maybe it failed so drastically that it wasn't like talked about.
1992?
Yeah,
That was like
you were
about
zero.
33 years ago.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, yeah, 33 years. I know
not even that old.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, why didn't I hear about this? You know, like Grandpa always was watching the History Channel and like all this crazy shit, and they talk about aliens, but they don't talk about the time that the Russians tried to make the sun shine on cold places. I'm like, what?
Huh.
Damn, History Channel always failing
ever
me.
space mirror was launched on board a Progress spacecraft from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. The autonomous spacecraft would then dock with the Mir station, where crew members would fit a 40-kilogram drum containing the folded reflector into the docking port of Progress, which would then depart the station and move to a position about 150 meters away. An electric motor inside the drum begins to spin and unfold the 8-segment reflector disc.
Man, that's so smart. Sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
I think I'm a pretty smart person sometimes, and then I see something that's really smart, and I'm like, actually, I'm an idiot. I'm a genuine idiot.
Totally average.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, below average compared to these guys. If I talked to these guys, I'd be like a retarded monkey, throwing poop at people. You know?
Yeah.
The circular shape is maintained
Yeah.
by the rotation of the drum, and the position is controlled by the maneuvering thrusters on Progress. On the morning of
God.
February 4th, 1993, Znamia 2 would produce a 5-kilometer wide beam of
Wait, so they actually did it.
They successfully launched it. What the hell?
light that traveled over the surface of the Earth from southern France to western Russia.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. That's the coolest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
That is really cool.
Okay, maybe not the coolest thing, but I'd be hard pressed to think of cooler things than this.
The bright circle traveled at an estimated speed of 8 kilometers per second.
Bro, can you imagine you're just walking around through France or whatever, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what was that? You know, everything just gets brighter temporarily, and then it just like disappears, and then you're out there being like, holy shit, bro, I think there's aliens. Fucking
Or the raptor.
yeah, or the Rapture, dude. Yeah, you just have like a mini stroke. Because instead it went from France to Russia. Jesus Christ. Oh man.
Just have a mini heart attack there.
Yeah, they just like stroke out a little bit. Yeah.
And had the brightness equivalent to a full moon.
Yeah, if that happened to me at night, and just like a patch of light just goes across my city, and it's like a shiny night light, right? I'd be like, oh, oh. I've been freaking out.
I'd literally think
So,
that
anyway-
they'd be looking for an inmate or something.
Yeah, fucking God or aliens, something's happening, bro. I'm about to get taken. I've been like called a
Regardless.
priest and called the scientist. I'm gone.
Seeing lights shine on your house regardless would be a scary thing, honestly.
Yeah.
Anyone witnessing this from the ground would have seen something more like a quick flash than a giant beam
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Imagine you're just like, you're just walking around, right? You just get flashes, just like flash of the light, but you never convince anyone it happened that wasn't outside. You would never do it. You'd be like, oh my God, this thing happened to me. And everybody would be like, oh man, you're probably drunk, you stupid fuck.
Yeah, the sky is falling. The sky is falling.
light, and hardly anyone even saw the flash because much of Europe was covered by thick clouds that morning.
Okay. Okay.
They lucked out.
Just like this one guy in the middle. That makes it worse, actually, because this one dude in the middle of nowhere had like a clear patch of clouds above him. He got flashed from space, had a stroke, and none of his neighbors believed him because they were outside doing something, and that never happened.
The mirror
That's
was
fucked up.
deorbited after several hours and burned up in the atmosphere over Canada. It was far from the most impressive technical demonstration, but Znamia 2 was only ever supposed to be the first
I mean, that's a successful demonstration, right? Even if it did burn up in the atmosphere, they
Yeah,
still
that's
launched
really
it and it
impressive.
still worked. Yeah, I mean, I know it wasn't like it crashed still, but as far as experiments go, that's very good. Like, think Elon Musk right now has sent like a few ships up to space because he's trying to make one of those giant ships. And a lot of those,
Yeah.
due to problems, have exploded. And NASA's, like a lot of NASA spaceships have exploded. It's like that's par for the course for testing these things is like sometimes shit just explodes.
I wonder why they never redid the test.
I don't know. There's still a minute left. Let's see if they say anything.
stepping stone in a long line of Russian space mirrors. It would ultimately take until 1999 for Znamia 2.5 to be ready, but it did fly to space on February 5th with a 25-meter diameter reflector that would have been capable of projecting a 7-kilometer wide bright spot onto the Earth with a brightness equivalent of between 5 and 10 full moons. The objective for this demonstration would be to keep the spotlight on a fixed position for several minutes at a time. Unfortunately, soon after deployment, in the process of unfolding the mirror, the ultra-thin mylar film got stuck on an antenna of the Progress spacecraft and caused a rip in the material. Operators on the ground tried to free the snagged mirror, but Znamia 2.5 was declared a failure, and the whole thing fell helplessly back to the Earth and incinerated. That one catastrophic failure was enough to kill the
That makes sense. Because it failed the second time, funding got cut. I think it'd be worth it to
Oh.
put money into things like this. It's just,
I think it would be really worth it.
yeah, because this could lead to future endeavors that are bigger than this. I mean, you're talking about like terraforming level stuff, I believe.
Oh yeah.
That's
the
crazy.
entire Znamia project. Version 3 was never built, and Vladimir died a few years later in 2006. In the time since, the
So he died so recently too, as far as history goes. Like that's 19
That's
years
about
ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's crazy.
people of Earth have never again launched a giant mirror into space. Probably because it's just not actually a particularly useful thing to have. It can't be used as a death ray, and it's highly questionable to think
I'm glad it can't be used as a death ray, okay? You know what? I'm happy about that. But think of those people living in these subarctic areas. That could genuinely help them.
Like having farms out in Alaska. I'm sure there's farms out there.
No,
but
yeah,
they're
but
prob-
I meant like above the Arctic, like at the Arctic Alliance. So part of like those northern areas of Russia are in that place that never fully defrosts. So imagine if you could just warm it up just enough to defrost during like the spring and summer months there, and you could like maybe they could just grow like a little bit more. It wouldn't
Yeah.
take a lot to change somebody's situation. Even if they were able to, even if they were able to produce like 6%, 8% food more, that's quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Like because numbers are everything, right? 6 or 8% more is like a difference between somebody making it and somebody failing a lot of times. So
Oh yeah, that'd be I think it would be worth it in the end, but they're probably not gonna do it in our lifetime.
that there would be any
No.
substantial benefit to any living
I also think technology's got better, so it's possible that if they retried this, it would be better now. But what do I
won't.
know? Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
thing from having perpetual sunlight. You'd almost certainly cause more harm than good. But the 90s was a wild time. You could get away with some weird stuff like launching not one, but 2 giant mirrors into space just to see what would happen. So here's to Vladimir. I'm so happy that your idea didn't work, but I deeply respect you for trying.
Wow. That's fucked up, man. You're happy that it didn't work. I think I think it's that sort of innovation is why humans ended up on top of the food chain. I legitimately think it's crazy innovation like this and people that keep thinking outside the box that literally put us at the top of the food chain.
Oh yeah.
That's my opinion on it. Well, May, what do you think? Any final thoughts?
Um, I don't have anything to add. I thought that was very interesting though,
Yeah.
and I'd really like to see more videos like that.
Yeah, me too. Well, this was a video by the Space Race, and the Nautilus one is right here that I watched earlier, and that's by a channel called Mustard. Uh, Inarguably good channels. Both of these have been great. So, oh shit, that's that, man. Have a good day, guys. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it as educational and informative as I did, and maybe like me, you've learned something today.